Hey, Catus Maximus here again, this time with a quick review of the Makita TM3010C oscillating tool. I've actually had a few different oscillating tools and they never really seem to hold up. I've even had a couple Bosches which have been pretty popular, but they have some plastic parts up in their it's not a gearbox, but the mechanism up here in the Bosches, it just wears out, and pretty soon the blade hardly turns, and it looks like it's working, but then when you actually touch it to something, the blade hardly works. This Makita, on the other hand, is pretty heavy. It has a 3-amp motor, up to 20,000 oscillations a minute, and it has a nice, easy to use quick release, which is also really secure. I like its design. It seems like it's a compromise between a heavy-duty design. We'll take a look at that. If it will focus. There we go. So it has this bolt that just goes through, and then it has this clamp that grabs onto the threads, kind of like what's inside a rivet puller. It has real, as you can see by the size of my finger, it has an oversized bearing, and it's an all metal, precision, high hardened steel, fork, an eccentric bearing in there. So the spindle on this is just absolutely, I've used this quite a bit and it feels perfectly tight, like no play whatsoever. To change bits, it's pretty easy. The handle has quite a bit of resistance. It's actually, you got to lube that, but it definitely won't come out on you. It comes with a series of different adapters, so you can use pretty much any blade. That's what's nice about the Makita, is you can buy it, and no matter what blades. They've all more recently been using the same pin standard or universal standard, because there were a few different types of drives, from the Dremels and the Bosches, and then what's known as the oscillating tool standard. So it has this bolt. You just put in the blade, put that. Fortunately, shutting that's super easy. There's all the spring tension, and that holds it really tight. I mean, there's a strong spring in there. These tools are great. How they work. Let's see, we'll flip it this way. Oh, come on. And that's on low. Of course, we can turn it up. And that's how they work. They just are tiny little cuts. They're, you still have to be careful. It's a power tool. I have a sharpened scraper blade, but for like power scraping, it's amazing. Pretty much for precision cutting, you can do precision plunge cuts, where you can just plunge right into the surface and just cut square holes with a lot less dust than a circular saw or rotozip makes. If you need to cut plastic stuff, if you're taking something apart and need to cut apart a plastic clamshell, these are magical. These kind of blades at high speed, and you can just cut your way. It makes working with plastics much easier when you just need to do some kind of modifications. So anyway, it's about the size. It's like a die grind or an angle grinder motor housing with a different head on it, and a smaller motor. Other than that, it's been a great unit, and anybody may be looking at a Makita oscillating tool, or any oscillating tool, I'd recommend the Makita. It really seems to be made to stand the test of time and have a nice tight spindle. Okay, Catus Maximus out. Thanks for watching.